Welcome to the Wall of Fame podcast from Avant Media Institute, where we celebrate the alumni who are shaping the audio industry and leaving their mark on the world. Being inducted into the Wall of Fame isn't just about career success. It's about passion, perseverance, and impact. It's a recognition of those who push boundaries, inspire others, and redefine what's possible in music, film, live sound, and beyond. Each episode, we sit down with one of our distinguished alumni to hear their journey, how they got started, the challenges they overcame, and the lessons they learned along the way. Whether you're an aspiring audio engineer, a current student, or just someone passionate about the world of sound, this podcast is for you. Welcome to another episode of the Wall of Fame podcast presented by Avant Media Institute. I am your host, Mark Drew, and today I got a special guest, man. For the first time, I'm finally sitting down with someone I actually had 11 weeks with in my class. I'm very, very proud of this guy. Every time I see him, he's always leveling up. He's always getting better, and he's really serious about his craft. Man, just very, very educated guy. And he was super young when he came into the class, too. So, yeah, man, Trevor McGee, what's up, bro?
Nothing much, man. How's it going?
It's so good to see you, man. Like I said, this is the first time I had somebody that was in my class, and what I enjoyed about you coming up here after you, how long has it been? Like, what, 2 years?
Like 2.5 years.
Yeah, since the time that you've come back, and I, catch up with you, you're leveling up, you're getting more gear, more experience, and you're talking like a professional, man. You're no longer talking like you're a student, like you're a seasoned pro. I like it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
So let's go back to the beginning, bro. So when did this music first grab you, and what did that early love for music feel like?
Okay, I was I was 5. I remember the exact day and the exact moment that it happened. Yeah. I was 5.
Wow.
And my parents had these fake iPods. They're called Sanzas. Do you remember what it's? Yeah. We had Sanzas, and my mom would let me listen to her gym playlist every now and then, right? And Eye of the Tiger was on there, and that was a really cool sounding song to me, 5-year-old me, right? Yeah. And I remember I was listening to it one day, and I was able to hear the drums specifically and the hi-hats, and I started noticing that things were happening in repetitions of 4. Yeah. So 5-year-old brain was I can predict music, and I'm I go and I tell my mom, I'm Mom, I think I need to take drum lessons, and she signed me up for drum lessons the next day. And since then, I started taking drum lessons from age 5 to 10. I think it was 5 to 10. I was in drum lessons. It was at a School of Rock type place. Okay, cool. So I was involved with music since I was forming memories, pretty much, and I was in specifically drums, and I played in their little cover band that they had and everything. Okay. And during that time, I was really big into Michael Jackson too. Right on. Nice. I heard somebody say oh, you were the Michael Jackson kid. And I was dang, I didn't know there was a category for that. But yeah, I guess I was the Michael Jackson kid. But I was so big on Michael Jackson, and that's the grooves that he uses and things happening, like chord changes and section changes happening on 4 and that kind of thing. That has forever influenced my taste in music and my approach to music as well, is definitely Michael Jackson.
What's your favorite song to play?
Ooh, Smooth Criminal, because I can't play it. That's I remember it's funny because I'm a music teacher now, so I have people asking me how to play songs, and a lot of the times it's songs that are a little bit out of their skill level, right? So I have to kind of dumb down a little bit the part where it's you can play it for people and they'll be oh yeah, it's the beat, but it's not exactly the beat, because the real beat is just so hard, right? So my drum teacher showed me how to play Smooth Criminal, and I remember showing my parents look, I got it. And then now that I'm a drum teacher, I was man, I haven't played this in so long. Let me hear it again. And I realized that he dumbed it down for me whenever I learned it, and I didn't actually know how to play it very good. But yeah, probably Smooth Criminal, man. That song is really good. Yeah, big fan of that. I mean, you can't really go wrong, man. Any of the Michael Jackson hits are just iconic, So yeah. Yeah,
from the second you press play, it's a vibe.
Every album too. Every album. Yeah.
And because I know you're in a band.
Yeah.
Because with your experience playing, it translates over pretty well. What was that first experience like, and what role did you play in the band that you're in now?
So I mean, like the first band that I was in, the cover band when I was like really little. Yeah. I mean, I was drummer, obviously, but yeah. I also I mean, like, maybe I'm remembering wrong, but I remember taking strong initiative towards like counting things off and like keeping people in time and being, you know, like a good drummer should, right? Yeah. That was what my drum teacher taught me, is like, you're the backbeat of everything. Like, people have to follow what you do, you know? So it's more responsibility than just being able to coordinate your stuff. And in my current band, I'm the writer, the front man, the main. I mean, I'm like the main guy, right? Yeah. So I mean, I write all the music. I play guitar and sing and do all that. That's kind of my role. I'm like the writer. It's kind of my artistic outlet.
So what's that like dynamic like from being the drummer, who is, of course, you're the rhythm section, you're the pulse of the band, right? But now you go into like you're the front man, you're the writer. This is your vision. What's that difference like?
Well, I mean, technically the main thing that's happening is I'm playing guitar now, right? And with music, there's really only two things that you're dealing with. It's rhythm and melody, right? There's not really anything else besides that, unless you want to get in like the really artsy, you know, stuff, and like that's cool and everything. But like for the most part, accessible music is rhythm and melody. People who pick up instruments such as guitar and really anything that is not drums, and that's like your first instrument. You're learning rhythm and melody at the same time, and that can be a big hurdle. And like as a teacher, I watch that struggle all the time. It's like this is way more difficult than it looks like, because these are two foreign concepts that you're having to merge together simultaneously. You know, drums is only one of those. So if you can get good at drums first, then that rhythm translates really good to like guitar and really any other instruments. And that, I think that's why you see a lot of like rock guys and a lot of like rock frontmen, like the really successful ones like Kurt Cobain and Dinosaur Jr. Jay Mascis from Dinosaur Jr. And I'm not trying to draw comparisons between me to them, by the way. I want to say I'm not trying to say I'm like these guys, but they started with drums, and that made writing music really easy because rhythm was already natural for them. So that being said, to answer the question, I think playing the drums made rhythm come like really naturally for me, and it was a lot easier for me to connect the dots melodically whenever I already had that foundation of like, you know, hearing stuff, especially Michael Jackson. Like I'll go back to that, like having an understanding of those like really funky beats where things are ending and starting on 4 and 4 and like, dude, if you can start feeling that stuff, it's really helpful for writing for sure.
Nice.
At least for me. So yeah.
I love that you're a student for real. Like you go back and find music that was before your time. Yeah. Because a lot of the young kids these days, since like it's new music's put on in the palm of their hands on their iPhone every week, they don't go back and listen to stuff before that. Like they'll look at, like if I name something from the 2000s, like, what do you mean? It's like, that wasn't that long ago.
Right.
So it makes me happy that you go back even further than that to find inspiration and to find like, do your homework, find out where this comes from.
That's what it's all about. Like as someone who really cares about music, you know, I've always had that idea of like, how did they make this? Like, how is this song achieving this feeling that it's giving me? You know? And the answer to that is, well, where did they get it from? And then where did they get it from? And if you can get that full understanding and just the full rounded out picture of why you're being affected in a certain way, then like, you know, you got it, you know?
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, with your knowledge with music, you've been promoting some bands as well.
Yes.
And let's talk about your experience as a musician and how that shaped the way that you like approach promoting bands. Like, what has that been looking like? And do artists respond differently to you knowing that you've been in their shoes?
I don't know about artists. Approaching me differently because I've been in their shoes. Because I think that the main draw to what I'm doing is just the fact that it's like a really good deal, and it's a chance to archive your current project and I say archive, immortalize your current project, you know? A lot of these bands, and I was just talking about this a second ago, but a lot of these bands, they're young kids and they're in school and they're about to go to college or they are only able to do this for a certain amount of time. And you see a lot of these really great projects in these bands that play so frequently in the music scene just kind of die out and disappear, and it's it's kind of sad because a lot of them never get to display just how good they are, and if they do, then it just doesn't reach a lot of people. So I mean, like, my stuff right now, this project is not reaching a ton of people yet, but it has the ability to, you know, and that's definitely part of it. Is like, I understand a lot of these bands are, as much as it sucks to say, temporary, and the really good ones, I'm like, well, I want to just document how good these guys are before they're gone. So that's part of it, and I don't think that I think maybe me being in a band contributed a little bit to it, but for the most part, the people that I have on had no idea that I was in a band. They're strangers to me. I'm strangers to them. We're meeting each other for the first time.
Do they eventually find out that you're in a band?
Yeah, I usually mention it. They'll ask like, man, so like, do you play any instruments? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in this band, you know. But it's never like the first thing that I tell people. You know, it's I want it to be about them. You know, I want them to come over and this be a special thing for them.
But I'm sure when they find out, it makes them a little bit more comfortable working with you, knowing that you know what it's like to be in their shoes. You know what it's like to, you know, to go from starting something up to like you're pushing it, you're trying to grow this to where this becomes your full-time job, or at least to where like it may lead to who knows what other opportunities it may lead to. Right. But I'm sure it hits a little different knowing that you come from their world and you're looking out for them versus somebody else who just sees everything as a potential dollar sign. Right. And it's like, all right, I'm going to have this person over here, or this band, and before you know it, they're not even giving everyone the full attention because they're trying to like make 30 situations pop, hoping to hit the lottery and spread themselves too thin. And now, you know, so many people are like investing money or time into it, and it's going nowhere. Exactly. So from your end, I'm sure that gives a little bit more comfort to these people.
That is true. Yeah, no, that's a good way to look at it. And I coming from DIY, right? That's not only has that been my band, but that's been my experience playing shows. That's been my experience recording. I'm educated, obviously, but you know, like, most of the shows that, for example, small detail, but most of the shows that I played with my band, they didn't have like stage monitors. There was one microphone and one speaker. Yeah. So nothing is mic'd. You're playing in somebody's backyard, or you're playing in somebody's garage, or something like that. And it's like, you know, if you're willing to do that all the time, then you're like truly dedicated to your music, you know, and seeing other bands do that, those are the show poster bands, as I like to call them, not the ones that go online and make if you like this, and this, then you're going to love my band. Like the ones that post the show posters that are playing multiple times a month. Those are the ones that I know put in the work and really care about their live performance. And those are the types of bands that I like to have on, and I was one of those bands, you know, and them finding that out about me, I'm sure that does probably make them feel more comfortable in my studio, for sure. So yeah.
Yeah, and just a second ago you said you were educated, and you have a really interesting story about your education, you know, prior to coming here to Avant. Because I think, actually I know for sure, you are the youngest student I've ever personally had.
Really?
So yeah, you got here really young. You were 17, right?
Yeah.
But before that, you said you had 1 year of homeschool. Yeah.
Okay. So, man, where do I start with this? So I was in public school from I think kindergarten to junior year, and my freshman year of high school was COVID. Everything was jacked up. Oh man. Socially, dude. I mean, and I was vouching to go to school in person as well. Everybody else was on there. Everybody else was like was online, and I had a freshman year. I had only been living in/around Houston for I think a year or two.
Oh, so you're still like learning
Yes.
Like gaining friends and learning, like...
Not only that, but all of my friends from middle school that I made right when I moved here, they all went to different schools. So I moved from my old town, started a brand new friend group, and then 2 years later, that friend group no longer exists, and now it's COVID. And now I haven't talked to anybody in a year, and now I'm going back. Friends aren't there. Gonna try and just show up in person and socialize. Dude, like, it's not like a boohoo me thing or like, you know, but
you guys definitely have like suffered something that most generations don't go through.
It did definitely suck. And I've always been the type of person, I just learned this word recently, but it's like a floater where you don't have like a clique or like a friend group. Like, I was always willing to talk to everybody, and I think that kind of outcasted me just a little bit in school, and I didn't realize that until recently. I was like, dang, like why have I never like had like that super solid friend group? And I met other people, and they're like, oh yeah, I was a floater, and I'm like, what does that mean? And I was like, oh, okay, so we never made friends. But yeah, man, that was kind of like my whole life. And I mean, COVID happened. So I was already like, it was really hard meeting people and talking to people, and it in high school, they had like this 4-year plan thing. I'm sure that other people, especially today, have that same thing, but I hated it. And I had a whole class dedicated to it. It was basically us having to choose like what career we want to go to. I was 14, and I'm like, how that's like asking a 14-year-old who do they want to marry, you know? And I'm like, I don't know what I don't know what I want to do. And I had put so much work into music at that point and was so passionate about it, and that was not an option on the table. Was like, music.
Really?
Yeah, no, there was nobody encouraging anybody to go to music school or do anything in that field. It was all like finance, biology, STEM.
The 4 major subjects built around,
yes, and just whatever stems from those, and that was just being pushed on me all the time. And I was that coupled with the fact that I just did not have a lot of friends, and the fact that I've already started over with like making new friends and socializing so many times. I was like, I don't want to do this. My brother had been doing homeschool for years, so homeschool was already set up. I was just choosing not to do it. My parents knew I was struggling, and they were like, well, look, you can come do this, and we'll just set you up with our curriculum, and you can do homeschool with your brother right now. And I'm like, you know what? That sounds good. So I left high school and started doing homeschool, and my plan was when I turned 17, I was either going to go get a job or find some kind of higher education to do. And I turned right before I turned 17. That was whenever I found the ad for Avant, and that basically became the plan. So I was like, okay, when I turn 17, I'm gonna get my GED as quickly as possible, and then go to Avant right after that. And that's what I did.
Man, I've never heard the story, and I love it, man. I love hearing someone who like knows what they want and develops a plan, and to have the discipline to do it at 17. My hat's off to you. Like, I don't think I was doing that at like 20 or 21.
Dude.
And to hear that at 17, it's inspiring.
Well, thank you. I mean, you know, it's like life has proven to me, and I'm sure a lot of other people, to just be very uncertain and very unexpected, and a plan can be the strongest thing you can stick to, you know, and that's definitely part of my mindset. So, yeah.
Now, when it came to homeschool, do you feel like that 1 year, do you feel like it gave you an advantage to set you up for what was to come? Or would you say it's more public school that got you ready for the world?
Man, I would say it was probably more so public school that got me ready for the world. I think homeschool, really the main thing to talk about with homeschool is just the fact that I have loving, accepting parents that are willing to see me try things that other people don't try. You know, that was obviously part of homeschool, but that's probably the bigger thing to talk about in that regard. But with public school, you know, back to what I was saying, you know, I've moved a few times. I've had to restart socially more times than I can count. I think, and this might be me looking too far into it, but I think that what that has done for me is it's given me a strong desire for independence, especially as like a musician and a creator, because life has proven to me that I don't always have people around to collaborate with. So I'm very driven to want to know how to do everything myself. in the scenario that I just don't have anybody to collab with. I love collabing with people.
Yeah.
Like that's plan A, right?
Okay.
But it just doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah.
So that's I think that, like I said, maybe I'm looking too far into it, but I think that's kind of shaped me as a in my career and the stuff that I do. So
Well, you're the type of artist that you have a specific idea for what you want to do.
Yeah.
So it does help you to be as as self-sufficient as you are, just because you get to like whatever you need to communicate to somebody, you can do it yourself at that point.
Definitely.
This is very important. And when it comes to like, you say you moved around a lot, I'm sure that's helped with networking, where you've gotten used to talking to people who are new for the first time, right?
Yes, yeah. That's true. Yeah, definitely. Definitely, that is true. I'm able to, I think, put a good first impression on people,
There you go.
or learned how to put a good first impression on people because of that. So yeah.
Now let's talk about some of your time here. There was a student you clicked with. I think when I first saw you guys, y'all were already pretty cool, and that was like in 201.
Yeah.
So by the time you got to my class, you guys were like looking like best friends at this point. Let's talk about a student named Coleman.
Yeah, Coleman.
Now, you and Coleman were really, really close. You guys, I feel like he would kind of help, like you would strengthen his skill set. He would do the same for you, and you were learning from each other. Let's talk about what he was doing post Avant that kind of helped you envision what your career could look like.
So I don't know if this was post Avant that he got this gig, but he started doing live sounds somewhere, either while he was going or like right after.
It might have been towards the, I think it's like towards the end, but yeah, around the time, yeah.
So he started doing live sound, and I wanted to do studio recordings just because I was already so into making stuff and all that. But he was doing live sound, and he was in my band at the time, which, by the way, I feel like it should be mentioned. Like, I clicked with him really quickly because he was like the only other rock guy here. That like we were into the same the same hemisphere of music, and so like rock production and rap production, other kinds of production, they don't always like overlap.
No, they don't.
So he was a great source of information, and I think both of us were a good source of information for each other, and and plus the dude is hilarious too. Right? That's he's
a king of staring contests.
Oh my god. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, man, he was doing live sound, and he was in my band at the time, and we were playing shows simultaneously. So a lot of the times I was not doing live sound. I didn't have anything. I didn't have any kind of audio stuff going at post Avant for a little while, and he was doing live sound. So every time we'd have a show, I'd have to ask him like, "Are you available this day?" And it would end up a lot of the times he'd be like, "Oh no, I got live sound." It just had it in my head. I'm like, "Dang, this guy gets so much work doing live sound. Like, I would love to do that." And I tried really hard to get into the same company that he was working with for a while, and I was able to shadow him for a long time. And after I think a year and a half, I mean, it was like in the middle of last year, they finally put me on the schedule, and I finally started getting some work from them, and that's been great, man. I've been and I get to work with him too. It's me and him usually on the job doing the event, and it's really good hands-on stuff. But he was doing live sound. I think the main thing that I was able to take away from what Coleman did after Avant is just his willingness to jump into the unknown and do his absolute best regardless of what it is. And if I was him, I'd probably have the confidence to do so as well, because he is just he's so intelligent.
He's a bright guy,
so nerdy about audio engineering. But that being said, there are still times where we're put on the job and all of a sudden it's a last minute change where we're using like this weird board that we've never done before, and they didn't feedback clean the mics like it's tight stuff, and he's full composure, able to handle it, cool, calm, collected. Nobody's getting put off. Nobody thinks that we're struggling or we're panicking or anything like that, even if that's like a little bit true, But he is just the way that he approaches work and the way that he's able to just jump into stuff just like fully ready to go, regardless of like if he knows how to fully do it or not. I think that's you got to have that as an engineer.
What's so crazy about the students who enroll is there'll be a group of like anywhere from like 8 to 15 students at a time, right?
Yeah.
And it seems like you guys kind of link up before you guys enroll and like kind of see who matches with each other's personality, because a lot of times I get students like you and Coleman, for instance, like, how did you guys like? It's like you guys plan to be in the same class at the same time. It happens so much. Like no one knows each other prior to enrollment, but you have all these classes, like they gel so well with personalities. It's really interesting how that works.
I mean, I think that you're putting a bunch of people who are doing an against the grain thing.
Yeah.
And I think that these are people who may not have a lot to relate to with other people, that then all of a sudden you're being put in the same place, and it's like, oh, we're all doing audio engineering, you know, and we're all nerding out about the same thing that nobody else really like, or the general public doesn't really know about that much. So I think there's a much higher opportunity for making friends when that's the environment that you're in. So
and that's one of my favorite things about being, here, is being around the culture of people who are excited about this stuff, people who want to get into this, and they find comfort in each other to kind of help propel each other, and to iron sharpens iron. So
right, exactly, yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about the more about Avant. So, what was your first impression of Avant when you arrived, and did it match like your expectations?
I mean, I had only seen like some snapshots. Some snapshots on Google Maps, I think, and on Instagram. So I didn't have any expectations.
Okay.
I knew that there was like a studio, and I was very excited to see the studio. And I mean, yeah, it was cool. I mean, that was my first time being in like a professional audio environment, and it was a complete. I did not know what audio engineering was. Like, I mean, I would say probably until the end of 101. I mean, I knew like what the job was.
Yeah,
like,
but you didn't know the ins and outs.
Exactly. Yeah. I didn't know like what exactly it all entailed until maybe like the end of 101, whenever I was like, okay, so I kind of see how this works a little bit more now. So I didn't know anything about it. Avant was not only, I mean, I had my first impression of Avant, which was good. This was also my first impression of just like audio engineering in its entirety. So I didn't have any expectations, and it was really cool. I mean, it's super chill environment. People like you and Maestro make it very welcoming, you know. So it was good. It was a good first impression.
So yeah, there's plenty of other schools, but I think where Avant has the advantage is you get right into the mix right away.
Yes.
Like where I went, the first semester, you don't touch the studio. It's all lecture, which is cool and helpful, but I'm a hands-on learner kind of guy. So like that's what I love about here is like first week I see 101 getting into Studio A, and they're just like, all right, whatever we talked about, now let's put it to use. Yeah. And like every semester does it really well, and I think that's beneficial to you guys. So, I mean, you picked the right spot, man.
Definitely, and yeah, I mean, I agree with that, especially with this career. I mean, this is such a hands-on career. I mean, even after Avant, I mean, I would say that a lot of the stuff that I apply in live sound ended up being learned on the job. Not that it wasn't covered here, but because there was such a wide gap between me graduating Avant and then getting back into finally getting my foot in the door with live sound. You know, so there was a lot of stuff that I learned on the job, and with this being a career where so much is learned on the job, it's like it's good to have a place where you can do that learning and just get straight to it, just like what you're talking about. So
it's important for people to know that you learn a lot after school, but you only learn it because of what you learned in school.
For sure.
So all the stuff you learned that kind of gave you the ground, like the foundation,
the concepts,
all the concepts, they make it easier to learn this next level stuff because of how well you understood the basic level.
For sure.
Or the entry level stuff.
For sure.
So yeah, man, let's talk more about it. So either as a creator, a promoter, or even as a person, how do you feel Avant has helped you grow?
I would say it's helped me grow the most as a person, I would say. I went to Avant, so I was 17. I hadn't worked a real job, felt a little outcasted, you know, from my previous years in school and COVID and all that stuff. So I definitely was kind of in my shell a little bit.
Yeah.
And Avant, coupled with the part-time job I was working at the time, it like, and I'm sure everybody's had this moment, but like it made me realize everybody's just doing their thing, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Everybody just does their thing and doesn't care about what other people think about them. And it's like it's so pointless in being super self-conscious about yourself whenever nobody else is self-conscious about their self and they suffer no repercussions from it, you know? So I'm like, so seeing people just do their thing was like, oh, I don't have anything to, you know, be afraid of or anything like that. So that it brought me out of my shell, I would say. Yeah.
And one thing we take pride, I think I can speak for every instructor. Now, of course, we want you guys to be the best creators that you can be. We want you to be the best engineers, the best producers, the best live sound engineers. But like more so than anything, we want you to be professionals. And that's what I've seen you become. And I couldn't be more proud to see you become a professional.
Thank you.
Like you went from student to a peer.
Right, yeah.
Now let's talk about, you know, is there a specific skill, a class, or mentor at Avant that fundamentally changed how you approach your work?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So, there's a moment and there's a teacher that comes to mind. So in 101, I remember we went to Lucky, I think it was Lucky Run Studios, maybe it was somewhere else, but maybe it was the Pentagon. I think it was the Pentagon. We went to a studio and Oscar played Miss Jackson by Outkast on the speakers, on like the really nice speakers. And he said, this is like one of the finest examples of a mix that I can think of immediately. So and he was like, listen to it. Can you hear where certain things are coming from? Like things pan to the left, things pan to the right, and I could not hear it. And I don't know. I couldn't. It was I wasn't standing like directly in the center, you know. So it may have been more difficult for me, but I remember I couldn't hear it. And since that point, I became like a little bit determined to like figure that out and be like, what am I missing that these other people are apparently hearing, you know? And 201, Maestro introduced the stereo field to us, and he talked very slowly and was very succinct with his wording, and he drew it out on the board and wrote like the saxophone would go on like the left side right here, and the guitar would go on the right side, and this is how you make it sound full. This is how songs sound full, and it was just blowing my mind. I didn't even know about panning. I didn't even know about the stereo field. I just knew about making sounds and they're just coming out of speakers. That was a lesson, or I guess a lecture that definitely like just it totally changed my life. I mean, it changed the way that I listen to music forever. And since then, I've only wanted to gain a better understanding of the stereo field and filling out, filling out that stuff. So, but then to go on with that, man, Maestro definitely has had a lasting impression on me. Nice. I remember he had said some people might think that I'm rude, but I'm not rude. I'm just honest. And I think he said that at like the very beginning of the class, like as an introductory thing. And I remember thinking like, oh dang, like is he gonna like, am I gonna get chewed out? You know, like am I gonna really embarrass myself? But that didn't happen because it was totally true. He's extremely blunt and extremely honest, and every single opinion and thing that he says always has like this evidence to back it up. And he's never afraid to just say it how it is, you know? And that is something that I would love to think that I am able to carry in my everyday life with people, is that level of honesty without rudeness, you know? That has had a lasting impression on me, and I definitely try to do that whenever I can. So
Maestro's great. There's a reason why 201 is tied for second as the most popular class here. Yeah. Tied for second.
It's pretty like for me, at least, for somebody who cares like so much about music and like the way music sounds, like it was mind blowing for me.
I like messing with them. There's a running thing with the instructors. A couple semesters ago, they polled students for their favorite class. 301 won by a long shot.
Hey, Maestro.
and so I always introduce him as the he teaches the second highest rated. Tied for second. 401 tied. Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, I always mess with him, but he's a great guy. He's very smart. He knows what he's doing, and he knows how to make these really complex concepts really simple, which I think all the instructors here like do really well. But if you're a mix engineer, because a lot of students when they come to my class, they don't dream to be producers at all.
Right.
So like while it's a useful skill, they're more so wanting to be like mix engineers, and he's a perfect guy for those people who want to get good at making records sound the way that they sound.
Definitely.
Yeah, he's very he explains it really well.
Yes.
I'll even sit in on I'll walk by sometimes if I'm on break and just pop my head in and hear what he has to say. He's a smart guy.
Yeah, definely. Well, I'll say one more thing about Maestro. There was another lesson that he gave us one time. He said music is all spiritual. And I remembered when he said that, I was like, I don't know about that. But I was like, what are we about to talk about? But the more that I involve myself with it, and the better that I try to get at producing and mixing and just recording, he's right, man. I mean, like every like real song, not like the songs that are algorithm driven, not the songs that are trying to just achieve a bunch of money or being approached to as like a business or anything, but like the real passionate, cathartic songs that you listen to, like there's always just a purpose and a mission behind it. Whether the artist knows what that is, or whether the listener knows what that is, or if everybody knows what that is, there's always like a reason behind it, and it's understanding what elements go into making that song make you feel that certain way, And he explained it that one time, and I remembered like, I don't know about that, but then further I go on, it's like, whoa, like doing these physical things manifests these feelings to happen. It's crazy for me. It's crazy for me.
Now you give me something else to mess with him with, because I'm gonna go and see what's so spiritual about who let the dogs out.
Well,
I'm sure he'll have an explanation. He's a smart guy. He'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Let's talk big picture, man. Let's talk about where you see yourself. So, what do you want your platform to mean to the artists that you feature, and what impact are you hoping to have?
Man, so I'm first off, I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of live recordings. I mean, not live recordings, but also just live performances. Yeah. Me and my friend Eli, best friend, hang out with him all the time. When I hang out with him, we always sit around my computer and my speakers, and we just pull up our favorite bands performing live. Nice. And like, I don't know how else to explain it, but it really gets my heart racing, like something about watching my favorite band play, or one of my favorite bands play, and actualize this music. It's a reminder that this stuff that just sounds unbelievable in the way that it sounds and makes you feel is created by multiple humans doing their part at the same time, And that's something that I'm definitely obsessed with, and having access to that locally is such a blessing. I mean, like, in the town that I moved from, there was no music scene. I mean, probably the closest music scene was maybe like an hour away, if not farther. I mean, I lived in a Bridge City, which is like in the armpit of America, where all of the, like, Southeast Texas, where all the refineries are, right by Lake Charles.
I've never heard of this place until now.
Nobody knows about this place. It's not like not a place that's usually on the map.
Well, one day we'll talk to whoever's in charge over there. It was a Bridge City.
We need a venue.
No, or we're gonna say,
let Trevor in charge of the venue.
We're gonna put a sign up there that says "Home of Trevor McGee."
Exactly. Yeah. There you go. But yeah, man, but anyway, I've always been a big fan of live music, and it's so cool that we have a music scene here, and getting to be a part of it myself, and getting to see other people play is really cool. And I think the main thing for me, and another big inspiration behind this, and an impact I want to have on the music scene is, we have diversity, but it's the hardcore scene that's mostly popular. I don't know if you've ever been to like a jung show where they're playing like the jung, people hitting each other and stuff. That's huge. Like that is a big part of what we have, and there's nothing wrong with hardcore. I love what hardcore stands for, and I like the music. Yeah. But I think a lot of the times, like, equally as talented acts end up getting overshadowed because that crowd is kind of only down for hardcore.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of these acts that are somewhat overlooked, and I can't help but think like, man, and these guys are only going to be around for like another year tops. Like, I know this band is not going to last because they're just not getting any traction. They're putting in the work, and they're playing 2 to 3 times a month, and they're just not getting any traction. That's not to say that every band that I have on fits that category, but that is an inspiration behind it, is just how contemporary a lot of these bands are, and how it's only gonna last for a certain amount of time, and they're so good. I want my platform to be a lasting reminder of just how awesome they are. Like the ones that are like really, really good, that are young, that I know they're gonna split up. I want this to just be a lasting reminder to them and the music scene and anybody else that likes them, just how good they are, because they were putting in the work playing live all the time, you know?
That's pretty cool, you, man.
There was actually a band that I recorded recently. I did their album, and they're everything that I described, young kids, they're about to go to college, except they're moving like far away from each other. So the band is for sure going to split up. And I mean, I'm a little biased because I did mix their stuff and record it and everything, but I genuinely liked their music. You know, I really, truly liked their music, and I listened to it all the time, and I saw them play live, and they're incredible live. And they're the prime example of like this band that put in so much work and is so talented, and I just want to capture them, so even if they aren't around for forever, like that video is around for forever, and you'll remember how good they are. So that's cool, man. That's a big part of it for me.
Much respect to you for that. Now, while we're on the subject of creating something for people to, you know, especially younger acts, for any young creator who's wondering if there's a real path for them, what advice do you have to give?
Man, all right. I guess I could speak on like musicians, like young. I can speak on musicians and like young music creators. You know, man, like I'm a little nervous saying this because this might be a hot take among some people, but like stop approaching music as a business. Like start making your music for fun. If that's like if it's coming from a place of fun and you really looking forward to doing it, it's going to be so good. It's going to be so much better than somebody telling you, whoa, you're really good. Well, if you start making it like this, then you'll be able to get X amount of followers, or you'll be able to blow up and stuff. And I mean, if you really just like doing that, then that's fine. But I think if you really care about your music, being able to identify those kind of factors and eliminate them. Eliminate your entitlement towards if you think that you deserve to have people listen to your music, like forget about that. If you think that you deserve to be paid for your music, like you're the artist, you're making it, and I need to be paid, forget about that. If you're not making it strictly for yourself, I just think that's not a good thing, you know? And I would like to see, especially today, I think it's just so, I think it's like almost expected at this point. Like you start making music, you have your project, let's start making it look good. Let's do everything that the industry standards say, you know, just to get it blowing up on the algorithm. And there's a part of it that I think it can come down to, and I'll say it kind of like this. I think it can come down to scene versus vanity sometimes. What I mean by that is you're either going for this big look on social media, or you're going for these local connections in your music scene. And I think if you were to choose, I think overall the most important thing you can do is just make it for yourself because you really like it. But I think if you were to choose between the two, scene would be better because you get to make these local connections with people who you can then jive with and potentially collaborate with. And then their influences came from other influences of local people. That's how scenes come up. That's how grunge came up. That's how I'll say I mean like this is a little more niche, but like Title Fight and that Pennsylvania scene, those bands, like they all were influenced by each other, and they played with each other and knew each other and were showing out in person, putting in the work to play their original music. And I think at the end of the day, as long as you're making it for yourself, that's the biggest thing. Just stop approaching it as a business, because you're going to be, I just feel like music, like I was saying, it's powerful, it's spiritual, and if you're able to make it as something that you really, really want to hear, not what the internet wants to hear, not what other people want to hear, but the thing that you really want to hear, you're going to get so much farther with that, both in terms of personal satisfaction and other people liking it, because they're going to recognize you're real, you're doing your own thing, you know?
Yeah, people need to understand more that make it because the whole making it as a purpose of just making money, that's a losing battle in most cases.
It is.
And you're playing the lottery, and most people that I talk to never meets anyone who wins the lottery.
Exactly.
So, when you make it a business, there's a ceiling for that. Even if you are successful with it, there's a ceiling.
Right.
When you make it for you and start off making it for you and start off making it because you love it, it will eventually become a business if you keep it up.
Exactly.
And so that's what most people need to understand. Like, this isn't if you're looking to, for a get rich quick scheme. Yeah, don't hold your breath.
Exactly. That's it right there.
Now, you are, as far as Avant goes with students, you are going to be ranked amongst some of the highest with this honor that you've been given. So what does making it into the Wall of Fame mean to you? But just so you know, not everyone gets up there, and not just because you were a good student doesn't mean you're guaranteed a spot up there. It is how good you are a student and how good you're doing post-Avant that makes us proud.
Man, I mean, I'm definitely flattered and honored that you guys want to put me up there, especially among the likes of Xander. Yeah. We didn't talk about Xander, but that guy is okay, quick derailment of this conversation, but Xander got Coleman into audio engineering.
I remember you telling me that,
And Coleman knew so much when he started Avant. Yeah. And Coleman was, in terms of his knowledge, was very intimidating to me, because I'm like, dang, this is like I'm nowhere near as smart as this guy. Yeah. So I'm like third generation Xander, basically. Yeah. Xander taught Coleman, and then Coleman showed me a lot of stuff. And anyway, so to be among the ranks of people like Xander is it's pretty cool that you guys consider me in that same field. So I'm definitely honored, and I have very high standards for myself, and I do not consider myself to be like a success story yet. I don't consider myself to be, and I don't want anybody to think that I'm just in this super crazy high place. Like I'm still in like a resume building process for sure, and I have a lot of privilege as well. Like I'm lucky to have had great parents. I'm lucky to have had friends who have been willing to pass me gigs and pass me jobs and stuff. So it's very that's a big part of it, But
at the same time, if I may, no one's done you a favor. You've earned it.
I guess that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Because they wouldn't do that if you couldn't do it.
That's true. I have definitely hustled a lot for sure, and I think that is where my peers have recognized, okay, he's clearly willing to do this. We're gonna give him a chance to get in there,
because that's your name that you put on the line for somebody.
Exactly.
And Coleman, who's done it for you, he wouldn't do that if he didn't absolutely know you couldn't.
Right.
So while you're giving them credit, give yourself some credit as well, because you made it obvious that you're the right person for that.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, and you're right. That is true. So yeah, man. I mean, I'm honored. I'm excited. I'm excited to be on the wall next to Xander. So.
There you go, man.
But yeah, it's cool. So I'm definitely honored and excited to be on there.
Well, man, it has been a pleasure to talk with you. I'm so proud of you. From seeing you in my class, I knew from the second I met you that you were going to do this for a while, as long as you wanted. And so I saw that from how you were seeking information. I remember you made a beat tape, and you're not even trying to be like a rap producer. I'm like, this is it's so cool. This was not, I didn't ask you that was not part of a grade to make a beat tape. You just did it because you love it.
Yeah.
You love to make music. You love to try new things. And so when I saw that about you, this guy is going to be doing this as long as he wants. So I'm proud of you. I expect to continue to see great things from you, and I'm excited. So definitely keep in touch. But yeah, man, appreciate you so much for coming through, man.
Thanks for having me on. Thank you for all those kind words. I appreciate it.
So there's your camera right here. Tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
I need to update my Instagram handle. Follow the.upstairs.texas TX first. That is my studio account where I record people. I post clips of those recordings on there. Definitely go follow that. And real quick, I do not do the camera work on there. I want to do a quick shout out to Ephraim. He's the camera guy, and he edits the videos, and I'm only 50% of that project. It's my space, my equipment, and I do the mixing and stuff. But he plays one of the biggest parts in that. So huge shout out to Ephraim.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, he's tagged. He's tagged in the bio of that account. So please go follow him as well. But follow that account, the.upstairs.tx. And my Instagram is badfish_Trevor, no caps, no spaces. I came up with that when I was like 15, I think. So I should probably change that. Yeah, and people are like, oh, like the Sublime song, and I'm like, yeah, I like the Sublime song. But those are my socials. I'm not on anything else, so just follow me there. And my the YouTube channel for the studio is linked in the description of the Instagram account. So click that, follow that as well if you want to see what I'm up to. So yeah.
Yeah, bro. Well, come by soon, man. But till then, man, congrats on this.
Thank you.
Proud of you. And yeah, for those y'all tuning in, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll be back with some more.